All right, we are live. Welcome back, everyone, to our daily live feed. And as you are logging on, if you would like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. If you are logging on over on Instagram, we are also live over on YouTube. We will be screen sharing tonight on YouTube because we are wrapping up this past weekend's shows. We don't typically come on live on Mondays. Mondays is usually my day off. However, it is a holiday week. Yeah, we're on a Monday. I know. It's a holiday week. My parents are coming into town tomorrow. So I'm going to be playing entertainer for the week. So we will be doing everything tonight instead. What's up? Yes, I know and I had to get this wrap up in, obviously, for obvious reasons, for those of you who have been following along. So we had to get this in. Couldn't go a whole week without a wrap up, right? So it's very importante, as my husband would say. My husband's Spanish. So he says, muy importante. So anyway, as you're getting logged on here too, our Black Friday sale starts tomorrow, which means you need to be on our early access list now in order to have access to it when we open up tomorrow. So if you are on Instagram, it is in the link in my link tree there. If you are on YouTube, it is in the description box here on YouTube. So click that link, put your name and email address in. It is a free registration that just gets you in line so that when we open the doors, you have early access. Okay. What's up, guys? And yeah, as you're logging on, feel free to comment, say hello. That helps us with the algorithms. If you are on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications because you will get a notification a half an hour before we go live so that you know that we are going live. Now, as I mentioned, this will be our only live this week because of the holiday. But I have good news. I have a Bikini Girl in a Bodybuilding World. I have a new episode available. I finished it today. So I'm going to release that tomorrow. So my question is, do you want me to release it tomorrow morning or do you want me to release it tomorrow night? So weigh in. If you're on Instagram, go ahead and type in. If you're on YouTube, type in. Let me know if you want me to release it tomorrow morning so you have something to do while you're doing your cardio and things like that, or if you want me to do it for tomorrow evening, like 8:15, that kind of thing, tomorrow evening, like we would for a normal live, but I can release the episode at that time if you'd prefer it at night. So go ahead and comment and let me know. Tomorrow morning, we got some votes for tomorrow morning. tomorrow morning. Okay. I figured that's what people would say because typically when I ask what time you want me to send it out, y'all say in the morning. So there's all that. So it's a video that kind of updates you on what's going on with me, but then also what's going on with our ladies too. So we're going to go into a little bit in that episode of what happened this past weekend, but also what happened the weekend before this too. So there's some video footage and some things like that for you. So what's up, guys? What's up, Raven? Welcome. Okay, so let's get into this evening. Let's get into the shows and how they all played out. Yeah, cardio theater. Exactly. It's cardio theater. We aren't really going to review Denmark because we don't have photos or anything like that. But Esther did win Denmark. So just to kind of go into, we're going to go into who has actually qualified for the Olympia. And then we'll go ahead and we'll review each show. So let me get this pulled up here real quick before we do that. I'm going to share this. Here we go. We're going to take the chat overlay off so that way we can see the full. There we go. All right. So we have the points updated. So if you are on Instagram, we are screen sharing over on YouTube so that you can see what we're looking at for the points. Now, Bikini was the tightest point race. So that's why we're showing this right now. And this was all up to, basically it came down to the Denmark show. So if you were with us last week, we talked about how this point system was going, and it was between the last top 4 athletes. 3 girls on points get in on points, 3 girls, right? So we had 4 girls that were really in this race. Jody was safe. We knew that. We knew regardless of what happened this weekend, Jody was going to be safe. Jody was going to get in on points. She did actually compete in Hawaii. We're going to talk about her in a minute, but she did compete in Hawaii and she did place 4th. So she got even more points. So that's why she's at the top of that list for the points. Lana also competed in Hawaii. She placed 5th, so she went up 1 point. She was 28 points last week, which made her 29 points, which made Denmark a very nail-biting show because that left Stein and left Esther. And we knew that if they placed top 5 and didn't win, that was going to bump Lana out, right? At that point, we knew that's what was going to happen. But unless Stein took 5th, if Stein took 5th, then she would have been right below Lana, and then Lana would have gotten in, and Stein would have been out. But what happened in Denmark is Esther won it. So that automatically qualified Esther. As you can see, she's here on the list right here as the last person that qualified for the Olympia with a win. And that meant that the other 3 ladies that were in the running for points got in. Okay. Stein ended up placing 2nd, which put her up into this 31 points for the points. And Lana ended up being in that 3rd place spot. So she does qualify for the Olympia in the 3rd place for points. So it did all literally come down to that final show, right? This is why, you guys, I've said this several times. This is why I hate the point system. Because it's freaking nerve-wracking. This has happened several times where it's like the last show really determines who gets in and who's out. I had this happen a few years ago with one of the girls that I worked with. She got in on the very last show because her points, she ended up placing 5th in Chicago Pro and gave her just enough points to actually get in. She made it in by 1 point. By 1 point, she made it in. So I hate the point system because it's just friggin' nerve-wracking. But with that said, this worked out as best as it possibly could because all 4 ladies that were really in the running to qualify with points all qualified, right? Which is great, which just makes it worth it, makes all of these girls feel like, okay, thank God I did all these shows or I would not have made it in, right? So it actually worked out for the best possible scenario that it could have. And it did come down to that Denmark show. Like I said, that was going to be the pivotal show on all of this, is that show out there in Denmark. And it did come down to that final show. So congratulations to each of these ladies. Now, if you look here too, we see Romina right here as well. Romina qualified at the Atlantic Coast Pro. As we talked about with Romina, and we'll go into this a little bit when we go to review the show, she ended up winning the show, which did qualify her. She wasn't even close in points. There was no way she was going to make it on point. She had to get a win in order to be able to qualify, which she did. And I think everybody was really happy about that. I know everybody that I know of really loves Romina, and she's a fierce competitor, and she's one of these people that you want to see win. So I think that everybody was really happy to see that happen for her. I know she was. I could tell by her reaction that she was ecstatic that she made it. So that's our final list here for Bikini. She did. She looked amazing. I also have wellness pulled up here too. Again, this one wasn't even close. Like, we knew that this was going to kind of play out the way that it did. You know, none of these other points were as close as Bikini was, right? So we're going to talk about Jasmine a little bit today because she did compete in Hawaii and took 2nd. We're going to talk about her in just a few minutes, but these are your top 3-point earners in wellness as well, which did end up coming down to this weekend too. Let's take a look at, again, we can't really review Denmark because we don't have photos, but I will just say congratulations to Esther, who won it. She did place 2nd in Romania, so she probably would have been one of the ones that we considered to be a front runner for that particular show. When we did the preview, like we talked about, there were a few girls that were like, hey, it could really be anybody's game. So Esther did pull out the win here. So with that, let's go to Hawaii first. So let's talk about wellness first, and then we'll go into Bikini. Michelle Labata did win this show, which we kind of assumed was going to happen. That's who we had as our front runner, because she has won a show already. So she was already qualified. So, you know, when you're coming in off of a win, you're probably going to be a winner again. Now, I did feel like she had the superior package here for sure. Let me pull up a front pose here for you so you can take a look at her front pose. One thing I will say about this particular look with her is that top is extremely small on that bikini. When I was looking through her photos, I was like, I'm a little bit nervous, a little bit nervous for her top. So if I was making a suggestion on her look going into Olympia, I would probably do a little bit of a bigger top, just so it's not quite so sketchy as far as if she's gonna stay in it or not. Color is nice and all of that. I would just go just a touch bigger just so that it doesn't quite look like as small as it does. She came in pretty much the same as what we're looking at from her last show. She had that really diced in glutes. So she had that here too. Let me pull that up here for a second so I can show you her glutes. I feel like, and this could just be the lighting too. This might not be as much as what I think. I feel like she's a little bit softer here than what she was at the show that she competed in and won, which I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me pull it up real quick. What was it? Was this one what is that? Can't read it on the site. Hold on. Yeah, Tiny Top is cutting it close. Absolutely. Anyways, I feel like she did Heart of Texas. Okay, that's the one that she won. So yes. Anyways, I do feel like she's a little bit softer, which is good. I felt like Heart of Texas, she was very, very lean. Very like diamond drops in the hamstrings. We talked about that a little bit. I felt like it was a little bit over the top. She's still very tight here, but I feel like she's not quite as hard as she was at that particular show, which is good. I think a little bit softer is the way she needed to go. A little bit fuller is the way that she needed to go. Not sure if it could just be the lighting. It could be the lighting as well, but I feel like this is a better package, in my opinion, than what she had at her first win. So that's always what you want too. You want to have a better package every time you get on stage. So personally, I felt like this was better, but I would just do a bigger bikini top. Just a bigger bikini top, in my opinion. Second, we have Jasmine, who we did mention as a potential threat for the win here. She has been top 2, top 4 in major shows all year long. She's the one that we mentioned has a ton of muscle, and she still does. But I will also say I feel like this is a better package than what she's put on stage in the past too. I feel like she definitely has streamlined it a bit. Her posing was 10 times better in this particular show versus what she's done in the past. So I was really happy to see that, because there's been shows in the past where she's been like bent over almost. This was way better. And I feel like she is streamlining her physique a little bit. I would say for the Olympia, because she is qualified on points, I would say for the Olympia, she needs to continue to bring it down. She needs to continue to bring in that conditioning, continue to whittle that muscle down a little bit, because she's just a little bit over the top still. But again, much improved. She's got another 4 weeks to bring this package in a little bit tighter. And then one of the things that bugged me personally, I'm not sure who did her makeup, but this highlight here under her eyes is too yellow. On her skin tone, this should really be more of a peach color versus a yellow. So this to me was very distracting. I don't know if anybody else can see that, but it was when I was looking at her photos, all I could see was that really yellow highlight. So on her skin tone, I'd like to see more of a peach color versus a yellow color underneath her eyes. And I think that would be a lot more flattering on her skin tone. I'm actually not mad at the suit either. I think she could go with a little bit brighter through this dark color here. I like the bright tones on her skin tone because she does have the darker skin tone. I think she could go a little bit brighter versus this dark, but I like the brightness around here. I would say go brighter in general. I like this overall look, but I would just say go a little bit brighter through the stones and stuff like that, just to give her a little more pop. Let's see. Let me pull up a back shot. Her back shot is much improved. Again, she just needs to continue to come in tighter than what she did here. But man, this is 1,000 times better than what she was doing before. One of the things that I critiqued her on in the past is just with her bent over way too much. This is a lot better. But as you can see, she needs to come in tighter through these hamstrings. I would also cut the hair a little bit so we don't lose the top of the glute, because she's very leg heavy here. So we don't want to lose any of this glute here, because if you lose the glute, then she starts looking really leg heavy. So trim the hair a little bit. Keep going on the conditioning, and I think she'll be really good for the Olympia. Again, much improved package, so I was happy to see that. Let's look at next in line, Natalia. Now, we talked about her as being a potential winner here as well. She has taken second in the past. Did she? I think she's qualified. Maybe not. No, she's not qualified. She only did the 2 shows. So, okay. She's, she did take third though. Good package here. Let me get a front pose for her. Let's see. So I think she has really great shape. She probably just needs a little bit more size. Honestly, we've seen a little bit of a dip in this glute here, where I'd like to see more pop up, a little bit more fullness in the quads here. So just a little bit more size, Let's take a look at her back shot. Here we go. Yeah, especially when you look at her from the back, this is where you can see she needs to add some size to her. So she just needs some more size in the back, all over. You know, her glutes aren't bad at all. I think we talked about this before when we were previewing her. Her glutes aren't bad at all. She needs more legs for sure. And if she pulls her legs up, that's going to automatically make her glutes pop a little bit more too. That's going to help her. She just needs some more size in the lower half. When you look at her here, you can almost make an argument that she's bikini, right? You can almost make an argument she's bikini here. She's bigger than bikini. Don't get me wrong. She is bigger than bikini. But you could make an argument for bikini here. So she just needs some more size. Conditioning doesn't look too bad, but she just needs some more size here to pop everything. Let's take a look at Christine Ford. Now, Christine, she actually was Bikini Pro, and she moved up. And if I'm not mistaken, I think somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she's in her 40s. I believe, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong on this, but if I remember correctly, I feel like she was a Masters Bikini Pro. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that, but she definitely fits wellness better than bikini. I do remember that she was always a little bit bigger on the lower half in bikini, so she made this transition up. I think she still needs some more size. You see this little skin fold here. That means she needs to fill that out with some muscle. So she needs some more size. Let's take a look at her back. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. There's a back shot right there. Here we go. She's got some good balance in the back. So see how she's got more quad development out here than we were just talking about with Natalia. She just needs, again, some overall size. This is definitely, I mean, she was bikini. She's now wellness. She's definitely wellness. But again, she just needs to grow a little bit more. She's actually got some pretty good balance in the back, like I mentioned, but she just needs overall a little bit more in the back. But actually really good conditioning, all of that too. So very good job there. And fifth, we have Letitia. And we talked about Letitia being a potential for the win here. She ended up in fifth. Let's take a look at her from the front. I think she's just a little blocky. She would benefit from a different suit. Not a fan of the suit top. Color's good, but not a fan of the pie plates, as you guys know. I talk about that all the time. I'm not a fan of the pie plates. Trying to find a good shot where she's in her. There we go. I hit the wrong one. There's her front pose. So she looks upper body dominant here versus lower body. So she's got to fix that. She's got to get some more size on that lower half in order to be able to look like she's got lower body dominance. She's in shape, but she needs some more fullness through those quads. Let's take a look at her back. Here's a posed back shot. So yeah, she needs more size. Just in general, she just needs some more lower body size, right? She's got long legs in comparison to her upper body. Her upper body is very short in comparison to her lower body, which is why her upper body looks like it's dominant in the front. So she's going to need to really work on just increasing the size on her lower half. Again, she's got good balance on her lower half as far as legs to glutes, but she just needs more of it. She just needs some more of it. That'll get her up there, some upper outer glute. And then quads aren't bad, but because her legs are so long, she's going to need more. So good job on that. Let's see. Now let's go back and let's go to bikini. So for bikini, we're going to start from 5th and work our way up. So 5th was Lana. It was a smart move that she did this show. Again, she was not safe on points, so she needed to keep going. In general, she would have been okay though. Like she actually didn't need to do this show because Esther won, but she didn't know that, obviously. She didn't know that. So, when you're in this position, going through and just making sure that you're doing everything that you can do is the right way to go, right? It's the right way to go. So she made the right choice as far as going and doing this show. So she didn't leave anything to chance. As best she could anyway. But I would still give the same critiques that I've given all year long to her. She just needs some more muscle. She needs some more size. And she does still have that lower ab distension. Now it's hard to see that here if you're just looking at her by herself. But when you look at the rest of the top 5, none of them have that distension at all. So it's noticeable. Whenever you have something that the other girls don't have, you see it, right? So she needs to work on being able to hold this in nice and tight to make her waistline smaller. And she just needs to open up and get this upper body a little bit bigger, lower body a little bit bigger. Like I said, it's the same critiques I've given her all year. So it's not anything different. She's still in the same spot. Yeah, happy birthday, Yolanda. Yolanda's on YouTube here, and everybody's saying happy birthday to her. So I wanted to make sure I give that shout out too. Again, beautiful package, just the same critiques that I've given all year. Now, she did try some different stuff with her back pose. And let's see. I actually don't necessarily think it was a good call. It's okay to go ahead and try things. You know what I mean? But all I see here that's different, though, is that her elbows are sticking out. There's nothing wrong with trying new things in your posing. I think you should try new things in your posing, because the worst thing that can happen is they tell you no, go back to what you were doing before, right? So in this scenario, I would say go back to doing what you're doing before, because all we're seeing here is some chicken wings with her elbows, right? She does need more shape. She does need more size. She needs some more upper back and some shoulders, things like that. But when you do this actually diminishes the upper body a little bit. So this actually made her upper body look smaller versus bigger. When you relax these elbows down, you see the shoulders pop, right? So she just needs to work on growing. Nope, you didn't miss anything, Rachel. You didn't miss Jen yet. We're not there yet. So lower body is fine. Again, same thing that I've talked about all year. She just needs to grow. That's it. So this is actually a little bit better on the hamstring tie-in than she was previous weeks. So that's a good thing, but she needs some more upper outer glute, and that's just going to take some time. So let's go to Jody. Jody took 4th. So as far as making improvements in 4 weeks, not the growth improvements that she needs. She can, I mean, everybody can make improvements from show to show. Don't get me wrong. You can absolutely make improvements. In her scenario, she just needs to take some time off to grow. The things that she can do between now and the Olympia really is kind of give her body a little bit of a break, so that she gets an opportunity to rest, and she can get rid of some of the lower ab distension and get a little bit tighter for Olympia if she does that, if she takes a bit of a break. But as far as growing, not so much. Not so much. You need some time to grow. And by time, I mean months, not weeks. Okay, so here's Jody. Let's get a front pose with Jody up. So with the front pose here, and this just might be an in-between shot. There's a lot of in-between shots at this particular show. So she might not be fully posed here, but I'd like to see her kind of lock this knee out a little bit more so we can get that glute to pop up. I think she's bending just a touch here. And if we lock it out, that's going to help her stand up a little taller and pop that glute up a little higher. Waistline is nice and tight here. Like I said, she has no lower ab distension. So again, going back to what we're talking about, when everybody else in the top 5 doesn't have that, then it's noticeable. Where she needs some improvement is she needs some more size on her delt right here. Lat looks great, but she needs some more shoulder in this particular spot right here. I'd still like to see her tweak her hair and makeup look a little bit. This is something I've been critiquing for her for all year. I think from the back, her you're going to see this, her hair looks a lot better, but I'd still like to see a little bit of improvement on the makeup and hair. There's just something there that I want to see pop a little bit more. Yeah, and overall, this is a better package than what she put on stage last week, I think. But I think she's another one that's just going to need some time to grow too. So, and again, I'm not sure if this pose is completely her front pose. I think this might be a little bit of an in-between shot. So if it is her front pose, she just needs to improve on the front pose a little bit. Let's see. Let me get to a back shot. Actually, you know what? Let me look at this for a second. No, she's got a few other shots on here. It's a little bit better for her front pose on this shot, but I still think she needs to lock the knee out a little bit more. Because if she gets that knee to lock out a little bit, I think she can get that glute pop up. This is better. This one is better than what I had up before. But she needs to get this glute to pop. Let's see. Get to a back shot of hers. Here we go. Okay, so from the back, same thing. She needs some more size from the back. She's kind of similar to Lana, that she needs some more upper and outer glute to pull that hamstring in tight and everything. She has a little bit more width through the top here. Like I said, her hair look from the back is a lot better than what I've seen from her in the past, which I do like. So this is definitely improvement here. I'd like to see her come a little taller on her knees than what she's got going on here. That I think would help with the pop on the glute. Let me see. Again, I might have an in-between shot here. Let me see if there's another one. No, there's no other ones where she's fully posed, I don't think. Yeah, that's at the back of the stage. That doesn't help. Okay. So I think this is her full-on fully posed back shot. So again, I'd like to see her come up a little taller on the knees. She's just bent a little too much. You want to have a soft knee, but you don't want to look like you're bending into it too much. And I think she's just bent a little too much here. If she can come up a little taller, that'll help to pop the glutes out a little. She's a little bit splotchy in the tan here as well. So I'd like to see that fixed. Tanning issue right there on her glute. But she does need some more upper outer glute as well. But overall, from the back, like the reason why I think she's beating out Lana at these shows is because of her shape. She's got a little bit more size out here in the upper back, which gives her more of that X. So I think that's why she's beating Lana at these shows currently. They're both kind of similar in that they both need to get some more growth going on. They both need some more upper outer glute, that kind of thing. But Jody's shape overall is a little bit more of an X frame. So that's Jody. Let's go back. Sierra came in third. Let me get a front pose on Sierra. There we go. I like the red suit on Sierra. I wish I could see it in person. I like this, definitely like this better than the green suit that she did in Dallas, her last show. I definitely like the red suit better. She's another one that, like Jody, she just needs a little bit more oomph here with the hair look. Her glam has come a long, long way from where it was last year. It looks really, really good in comparison to where it was last year. But I just want to see just a little bit. I think it's just covering her face a little bit too much or something, like get it up off her face. She's got a lot of volume of hair here on the sides, but not as much on the top. So maybe just get it up off her face a little, and that would help. But it's definitely better than it was. There's just still a little something. I would like to pull this off her face a little. Front shot looks great. I like her conditioning. I like her shape. I like her fullness in her delts or anything like that. I think that her front shot looks really, really good, actually. Let's take a look at her back. Yeah, agreed on the suit color. Absolutely. Now, I'll also say that I think she's made some improvements to her back pose as well. So she used to be really leg dominant from the back, and now we're starting to see the glutes take over a little bit, which is good. She still needs a little bit more oomph here, a little bit more pop. I think she's got some good conditioning going on here. I like her level of conditioning. I'm going to talk about this a little bit when we get into these next top two girls too. I like her level of conditioning here. I just feel like she's a little flat. I like to see her fill out a little bit more. If she could fill out a little bit more on the glutes, I think this would be really, really good. But I think she's just a touch flat here. But this is a better look. Like I said, this is a better like glute look for her than I've seen from her in the past. And as you can see up top here, she's got those nice round delts. She's relaxed through the arms. This is the kind of look you want through that upper body. Maybe brush the curls out a little bit so that they come together a little bit more. These are a little bit stringy. So brush the curls out. And they'd be good. I know for myself, I tend to brush my curls out, but I don't if there's humidity. And this was Hawaii. So maybe that's the reason why she didn't brush them out. Like I didn't brush mine at all when I was in Dallas because I was afraid the humidity was going to make them just go blah, blah, blah. That was a technical term, by the way. Blah, blah, blah. That was a technical term. So I can understand why she wouldn't want to brush it just in case, because this would be better than frizzy hair. But I just like to see the curls kind of melt together a little bit better. And you won't have that problem in Vegas. It's dry there. So the Olympia, you won't have that issue. But yeah, I think this is an improved look on her. Just overall, I feel like she's just a little flat. So just get her a little bit more pop on everything here. A little bit more pop in general for everything, her hair, her makeup, all that. But I think this is an improved look. Just needs to go a little bit further, just a little bit further. And speaking of going a little bit further on everything, that's Eureka. Eureka had some really good pop. So let's take a look at her front pose. She's done a good job of getting her hair up off her face too. I like to see this piece come off of her face as well. Just show the face, get the hair off the face, right? So pull that piece of hair off your face. But this is a really, really good front pose. She's very well conditioned. I like her level of conditioning a lot. Again, I'm going to talk about this with her, and I'm going to talk about this with our winner, Lucia. We'll speak to Lucia as well. This is my preferred look as far as conditioning is concerned. She's conditioned, but she's not overly conditioned. Where I think she can improve is she needs a little bit more shoulder to match her lower body. And I think that would be helpful for her. But I really like this overall balance and overall look here. Very, very polished, very, very full and round, but still conditioned and tight. Pull the hair up off your face and you'd be good to go. Let's see. Let's get the back shot. She has a really, really good looking back shot. It's just been getting better. So this is what I mean about the fullness and the roundness and the pop of the glutes. She looks great right here. I really like, and again, I like this level of conditioning. I like that you can see a little bit of that hamstring tie-in, but not really etched in. I like that she's got this small waistline here and goes out to the delts on the outer side here. I think this is a very, very good front or back shot here. And again, I personally like this kind of conditioning. I think this is right where she should be. This is right down the middle. I don't know what her critique was for this particular show, but I don't know if I would change much. Yeah, gorgeous on that back pose. Yes, agree. I don't think I would change. Personally, I don't think I would change a whole lot of anything. Maybe she'd go with a little bit of a brighter suit color for Olympia. I think a brighter suit color on her might be good. You know, this is a pretty blue, but maybe go with a royal instead of that dark blue. Pop off her skin tone a little bit more. But I honestly, I'm not sure I would change much. I think she's right where she needs to be. Maybe get a little bit more pop through that upper outer glute, but really that's splitting hairs. I think this is a right down the middle. I think this is good. I wouldn't change much here. And then let's go to Lucia, who won this show. Now, Lucia has amazing stage presence. That's the first thing. No matter when Lucia gets on stage, you're going to look at her because she has great posing and presentation. She's one of the top people when it comes to that. She was top 10 at the Olympia this past year. I really, really like this suit color on her. I really like the tan on her. I really like the overall look on her. I would go darker on the hair. I think the hair is just too bright blonde. I like her in blonde, but I would like to see some more lowlights, some more like honey lowlights in there, just to kind of bring her some warmth and some depth to her hair. I think that would be helpful. One of the things that I struggle with Lucia is that she tends to be lower body dominant. She has an amazing V-taper, right? And she's got this shoulder right here. I think that her shoulder is better than what this picture is showing. So I could just be going by this one photo, but I'd like to see more roundness in the shoulder. So maybe that's just a matter of relaxing this arm a little bit more. And the reason why I'd like to see more roundness here in the shoulder is because she's so round through the glutes. So it could just be that where this particular photo was snapped, but maybe just drop this arm a little bit so that shoulder can round back out. But I like this suit cut. I like this suit color. I think this is a really pretty look on her. The only thing I would change with her presentation is just go a little bit with some more lowlights in the hair, just to bring some more depth into that hair. Let's pull to the back pose. Here's the back shot. Now, she's still in motion on this one. So let me see if there's another one. I think I looked at this before. There is, but she's at the back of the stage. So this one isn't fully posed because her hair is still moving, as you can see. But let's talk about it anyway. She's got great taper. You can see it right here. She's got great taper into her lower back from her upper back, which is, that's going to be hard to beat. She's got great shape here. I think this is a touch too tight. See that drop, that diamond drop here? I think that's a touch too tight. I think she just needs to fill out just a little bit. I don't know if I would go any less on the conditioning. I think I would just try to pop this glute pose a little bit more. And again, this could be just because she's in between. The other pose that they have on here is when she's done her walk to the back and she's at the back. So it's not the same lighting and things like that, but let's pull that one up because she is a little bit more solid in that pose. It's this one right here. So she's a little bit more solid in this pose right here. But you can see how gorgeous that taper is here. And again, see how bright her hair is here. I just like to see it a little bit of low lights in there. She does tend to be a little bit leg dominant. So I understand why they would want to bring her in as conditioned as she is. So you can pull that down a little, but I don't know. I just like to see a little bit more fullness here for Olympia. Again, this was good for winning this show, but going into Olympia, I just like to see her a little fuller through the glutes. Maybe bring the toes in a little on the back pose so that her legs don't pop as much on the outside. So that way you can get the glutes to pop a little bit more. I don't know, play with that a little bit, just so she's a little fuller, because look at how pretty that V taper is from her shoulders into her waistline. She's got a really, really good balanced back pose. I just want to see some more of the glutes being the focus versus the legs, and I think that's just filling out a little bit more, just a touch, because I think she's just a little too tight here. But again, this is plenty for her to be able to win this show. So I'm just talking in general for the Olympia, because she will be going to the Olympia. And she's going to be up against girls like, Jen Dory, who are down the middle, who are a little bit softer, that kind of thing. So my 2 cents. But that's, as far as her overall look, I think her overall look is really, really good. I would just go a little darker on the hair. Just my 2 cents. So that is Hawaii. Let's move over to Atlantic Coast because Jennifer's here. And we're going to talk about Jennifer because Jennifer ended up in 4th at this particular show. So how phenomenal is that, right? So before we get into that, we're going to talk a little bit about 5th place, move our way up, and I'll show the video from first call-outs and everything too that Jared took because I did screen record the live, but Jared's videos are better. So we're going to show that in just a minute. But let's talk about 5th place first, which is Ashley Smith. Pretty girl. I mean, first of all, the photos at this particular show are gorgeous. Like the lighting and everything are just beautiful. So we've talked about this at a few different shows where the lighting and the photography is just on point. It just makes all the girls look phenomenal. So all the yay Jennifer is coming in. So one thing I will say is that a lot of the ones where we talk about how pretty the girls look, the photographer is Dan Ray. So look out for Dan Ray if you want really pretty photos, right? So let's take a look at Ashley here that took 5th. Let's see. Let me find one where she's full pose. There we go. Okay. Yes, cameraman. We need good cameramen in this joint. So Jared's our videographer, but okay. So again, beautiful girl right here. Really well put together package here. This is a very good front pose, everything too, nice and full and round. All of that. I love the suit color on her. I think this is a very, very well done front pose. She's nice and round. You see how round and full those muscle bellies are. That's, for me, I really like that. Now, one thing that she's going to have to work on is she has this long torso. Her lat insertion is really high, which then makes her look like her waistline is a little bit thick. It's not thick at all. Her waistline's not thick at all. She just needs to work on being able to twist this pose a little bit differently to make herself look like it V's in a little bit better. That's going to make her proportions really pop. And I don't know exactly what the answer is for that. I would have to work with her a little bit and kind of twist her and push her and find the right spot for her. Fun fact, she's a mom of 3. Look at that. Well, see, look at that. Awesome. Good for her. But yeah, this is a beautiful look. I would just try to kind of tweak this front pose a little bit to see what you can do as far as this lat insertion. It's hard when you're structurally just put together like that. So you got to play with these poses a little bit to try and find the right spot. As Jennifer knows, we play with her front pose all the time. We'll talk about that in a minute. But overall, really, really pretty. I like this. Again, I personally am a fan of this level of conditioning. I like this level of conditioning, right? So let's take a look at a back pose here. Okay, here we go. We'll pull this one up right here. Now, this is where I think she can use some improvement for sure, is her back pose. She's just pushing too hard. She's pushing too much. I'm assuming she's doing that for a reason. But you can see just how much she's pushing through her upper body here. So she needs to relax these arms down. That would help this upper back pull out and make her delts pop a little bit better. She's overarching, so she needs to stop that overarch. And for her, she probably does need to bend her knees a little bit more. We talked about the one girl that was bending too much. She needs to bend a little bit more. Now, I think what that would do for her is that would really make her glutes pop. Right here, her glutes look a little flat, right? And that's all in her pose. I actually don't think she's flat. I think it's just her pose. But you see how, because she's pushing so hard, how long her torso looks right here. If she relaxed this, that would help. Again, she's got those high lat insertions. So she really needs to relax so that we look like we've got that V coming out here versus making this really look long. So a lot of what she's got going on here is in posing. So if she could fix that posing a little bit, I think this would be a much better look for her, because overall, I think her conditioning and her fullness and roundness is really, really good. I think she just needs a little bit of her posing tweaks. Same thing, like I said, from her front pose, she needs some tweaks, and from her back pose, she needs some tweaks. But again, overall, really pretty, really, really pretty look. So let's move to fourth place, which was Miss Jennifer. Now I had a feeling when she came out for first looks that she was going to get into first call out. I never, I admit that I'm a little bit biased when it comes to my own girls that I work with, you know what I mean? But but when I saw her come out and I saw her standing next to Ashlyn in the initial looks, I was like, man, she's going to get first call out because of her balance and her shape and her conditioning. Everything was right on point. She made a ton of huge improvements from the DC Ben Weeder. Brought the conditioning in on point, really made some good posing tweaks, which if you watch the Bikini Girl in Bodybuilding World that I'm going to release tomorrow, you'll see more details on that. But let's pull up her front pose right here. So this is a much better front pose than what she put on stage at her pro debut, which tends to be the case. You tend to get better after that first show, right? Very well balanced. Where she needs some improvement in the front pose is the waistline needs to come in just a little bit tighter here. Needs to pull this upper back out a little bit, that kind of thing. But this is a really well-balanced pose, very good conditioning. I really wouldn't change anything about the conditioning. Again, I like that fullness, that roundness that we've talked about, right? By the way, this is something I didn't mention to her before, but you definitely stuffed your bikini top better at this show too. So good job on that. The suit looked better. The lighting at this show and everything too really made the suit pop. You can see the pink and the purple and all of that. It looked phenomenal on her skin tone. So I really enjoyed all of that. The makeup and hair was better at this show too. Just overall, everything was a lot more polished at this particular show, top to bottom. So really, really good here. Again, where she's going to need to work is waistline right here, waistline. So thank you. Build a bra. Yeah, build a bra. Absolutely. Build a bra. We talk about that all the time. Build a bra. It was definitely built better at this show for sure. Just so you guys know, in general, I tend to make bikini tops a little bit bigger if you are a natural chested girl, because I want you to stuff it and make it look fuller and rounder, right? If you don't stuff it, it's going to look like it's too big on you. If you stuff it right, it's going to look perfect. So polished is the word. Yes, absolutely. All right, let's get to a back shot here. Let's do this one. She's almost, I don't like that one. All these back shots are like really up close and personal. I'm like trying to find one where we're not like up in your business and you're fully posed, but they all are up in your business fully. And so it just is what it is. This one is close. So we'll do this one right here. Okay. So back pose is 1,000 times better, again, than what she had at her pro debut, because the conditioning is on point, but also at pro debut, she was kind of locking the knees out a little bit. We bent her a little bit through the knees and stood her up a little taller, which again gave her more shape through the upper body, because she's a little bit thicker waisted back here. So where she's going to need to work is she needs to add some more glute size. I think the fullness and the pop and the conditioning and everything was right where she needed to be for her particular muscle size, but she just needs to grow a little bit through the glutes, specifically upper outer glute. The more that she can bring this upper and outer glute up and out, the better that she's going to look, because this waistline from the back is going to look smaller. So she needs some more size out here. Plus, again, she's a tall girl, so she needs some more size in the glutes in general, just to hold up against some of these shorter girls, right? So conditioning, I felt like was right on. I know she got critiqued to bring her hamstrings in a little tighter, which I personally don't think she needs to be tighter. I'm going to show that when we go to the video in just a second as well. I think she just needs more size in general for the glutes. But the conditioning and the shape she brought to the stage for the amount of muscle she has currently was right on. So there's that. And again, really, really solid through the hair, makeup look, all of that stuff. So very, very good job there. Let's see. And let's go to third place. And there was 1 point difference between third and fourth. And third place was Jessica, which we assumed she would be in that top 3. Let's get a front pose here. There we go. So on Jessica, she has a really tight waistline. She's another one who is short through the upper body and longer through the legs. But her waistline is super small, so that helps her with the visual aspect, right? I still think she can use some more shoulder up top to help match her glutes, because I think her glutes are nice and round and bubbly. But I think she needs some more of that up here on the top in order to balance it out. And it looks like to me that she's pushing her pelvis forward a little bit, which would make sense for her shape, because again, she's lower body, she's got more glute. So she doesn't want to push it back, because then that would make her look even more unbalanced from top to bottom. So this pose makes sense. What I'd like to see is I'd like to see her get a little bit more shoulder up top, so then that way she could push a little bit more in this glute. And I think that would be the right spot for her. But I do think that she edged out Jennifer from this particular pose because of the waistline. But overall, I think Jennifer's balance from top to bottom is better, but I think that her waistline is where she gets a little bit of an edge right here in the front pose. And then let's turn to the back. Let's see. Here's a fully posed back. I thought her back pose was really good. She was tight through the hamstring, nice and round and bubbly through the glutes. And again, she's got that small waistline, so when you come up and out through the upper back, this looks really tight and tiny. So I thought her back pose was really good. She's one of the few people that can pull off this tiny little cut from right here, this micro cut. She can pull it off because she's got those bubble glutes. So I do think that this was a very good look for her, and I do think that she's gotten better there. Again, where I'd like to see improvement on her pose and her overall shape is just through her shoulders. And I actually don't think this is a full-on pose. I think her full-on poses are the ones that are really up close and personal, like I said. So I just want to show a full shot. Like you can see some of these are really tight in. I think these are more so her full pose, but you can't see her legs. You can't see her bottom of her feet. So I do think she actually looks really good from that particular pose. Let's go to Ashlyn in second. Yes, I like her red suit better. I do like Jessica's red suit better than her blue, for sure. 100%. So I thought this was a really good package for Ashlyn. I think in general where she lost to Romina is I feel like she was just a little bit too soft. Now I know that this conditioning aspect is where she's been winning in previous shows, so it makes sense as to why she came in looking the way that she did. Let me see if we can go to a full pose. I don't know if we got a full front pose here where she's at the front of the stage. Give me a second to find one. Here's one. She's actually moving in this, but you can see she's got a little bit of water retention right here. So I think she's just a touch soft here. Shape is great. Overall look is great. I'd like to see this piece of hair come off her face. You know, like I've told you guys before, I want to see the face. I want to see the smiles. I want to see the eyes, all of that. So there, it's a little bit better. Just don't have the feet on that. We got most of it, but you can see she's got a little wrinkle right here, which to me is a little bit of water. So just a little tighter through the waistline would be a better move right there. But overall, it's a good pose. She just has like a little bit more on her conditioning needs to come in. Which if she's doing this as a warm up for the Olympia, that makes sense because you don't want to be ready now. You want to be ready in 4 weeks. And then when we look at her from the back, you can see the same thing. When you look at her from the back, she looks a little bit soft. Just a touch too soft here. Let me see if I can find a good. She's in the middle of all these poses. Hold on. this one's a little bit better. No. Yeah, most of the full on poses, it's like when they're up close. But we'll show this one real quick. So you can see here, you know, as they mentioned to Jennifer that she needed a little bit more conditioning through the hamstrings, but if that was the case, then Ashley needs a lot more. So that's why I don't agree on the conditioning aspect for Jennifer. I think that her conditioning was fine. I think that Ashlyn needs to be a little bit tighter through here. Again, it just looks like to me she's just got a film over top of her. So, you know, maybe she's getting her period or something like that. Who knows? She's just a little bit soft, which is easily fixable by the Olympia. So there's that. Let's go to our winner, which was Romina. So this is the best package I've seen Romina put on stage in a while. Very polished, very put together. And again, her conditioning to me was right down the middle where she needs to be. You know, sometimes she can be a little bit overly muscular. You know, sometimes she can be too little muscle, too soft. She's kind of all over the place sometimes. This was good. This was like right down the middle for her. I felt like this was a really good, solid package for her. Nice full round shoulders, nice fullness through the glutes, nice tightness through the waistline. For second and third with the bubble butts. Yep, bubble butts. That's right. It's the bubbles. But you can see also with Romina, she's got the shoulders to match too. Like I've said that with Ashlyn. I think Ashlyn could get a little bit more shoulder pop. Romina's is borderline too much, but because she's got the bubble in her butt, like Jennifer just said, to match it, it works. Right here though, this tightness to the waistline is really what we're looking at as far as I felt like that her conditioning was right on for this. Let's take a look. As I told Jennifer, what I look at for conditioning is hamstrings and waistline. So to me, Romina's conditioning was right where she needed to be. Let's take a look at her back shot. Here's one right here. So she's still not fully posed here. Let's see if we can get full. There we go. So see how she's got that nice fullness up in that upper glute right here. This is her glutes are like glute goals, 100%, you know, and like for me, maybe she could be a touch tighter through the hamstring, maybe, but honestly, I don't think she really needs it. The fact that she's got that upper outer glute is really helpful because look at how much her shoulders pop here. You can see too, she's almost squeezing in a little bit so that she doesn't look like she's delt dominant, right? She needs that pop in her glutes in order to balance her shape, right? But this is a really solid package for her. And again, it's probably one of the better looks that I've seen from Romina in a long time. Hair look is great too. It's right down the right softness. You know, this is what I talk about smoothing out the curls a little bit. I felt like her look overall was very polished. I will say that I think the top four, you guys had very, very polished looks, like hair, makeup, tan, suit, all that stuff was right on. So really good job on the polish part of it. Let's pull up video. Hopefully I can, yeah, I got it right here. Okay, so this is when they first called them out for that first call out. So I'll go ahead and play this. And while we got this playing, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. This is your opportunity to ask any questions as you see this. I've got a few clips I'm going to play. So pat yourself on the back, right? Polish is important, you guys. Polish is important. It's very important. So here's your first call out right here coming out. And again, these are quick little clips. So this is where first call out landed, where you've got these four girls in the center here. You can see they got the four girls here. So see, you can see this really clearly from the video, the conditioning, right? So this is that Ashley? Is that her name? I completely forgot her name. That took fifth. Somebody help me out. Going back to look. Yeah, Ashley. So you can see what I'm talking about with her pose here, where she's just pushing a little bit too much. I think if she didn't do that, she would be a little bit fuller through here, but you can see, like, see how they've got like that sheen on their glute. See that sheen on their glute? That's fullness. That's pop, right? These two girls right here, they don't have that as much. She's got a little bit more than over here, right? But you can really see the fullness here. That's the difference, right? So I think that when we're looking at conditioning, you know, like I said here, I think that Jennifer just needs a little bit more upper outer glute here. And that's really kind of where you see the difference, right? So we've got the most right here from Romina, and then her conditioning is on point. And then you got Ashlyn, but her conditioning is a little bit too soft. And then you got Jessica, and then you got Jennifer. Like it's really clear. You can see why they ended up in the placings that they ended up in, right? But look at how smooth all of them are, the top four, with their walk and their presentation and everything. So they did a really good job. They really presented themselves very, very well. And it was pretty clear that they were the top four. You know, it was pretty clear that they were the top four in the way that they came out and presented themselves. Any other questions you guys have? I'm going to play one more clip. There we go. And you can see here, watch, Jennifer, this is where I'm going to pick you apart as you stand here, right? So she did good getting into her pose. And as she's standing there for just a few seconds, this clip itself is only about a minute long. She starts to lose that a little bit. She starts to lose that pose just a little bit. That's all pose and conditioning right there, you guys. So watch my BSPN. This is BSPN. Watch my Bikini Girl in Bodybuilding World that I release tomorrow, and you'll see this in more detail. You'll see this in more detail. Okay. Any other questions you guys got? I don't know if you can hear Dolly, but she's up there barking her head off. She's realized I've been on live for too long, apparently. I've been on for an hour. It's time for her to go eat. Yep, it's very pretty to watch. Very pretty to watch. Any questions, you guys? I know this was a long one. Good thing we didn't have pictures from Denmark. We'd still be here. So like I said, I will release that next video tomorrow morning. So you'll have that to watch during your cardio and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be ready to go. I'll stick that in there and get that uploading. But congratulations to Jennifer again. That was her second pro show, end of her season. Yeah, it's very motivating. It's really cool to see that kind of thing happen. You know, it just shows you at the end of the day that if you put the hard work in, you're gonna get noticed. You're gonna get recognized. It all comes down to how much work you put in. And, you know, she puts in the work day in and day out. You know, she leaves nothing to chance. She does everything that she's supposed to do. She puts the work in, and it shows up when she gets out on stage. So if you guys just follow that example and you listen to people that you trust, like myself, and your coach, like Jared with her, for her coach, you know, then that's going to get you to the levels that you want to go to. Put all those things together in a pot and you will succeed, right? Going harder in this cardio session. There you go. I love it. I love it. Do what Sean says, right? I try to tell people all the time, there's only so many times that I can tell you what to do, right? You've got to physically go do it. You know, if you listen to what I tell you to do, I promise you, you will get better. You will get better. I can't promise you results. I can't promise that you're going to win a show. I can't promise those things, but I can promise that you will get better. Just do the things that we tell you to do because we know what we're talking about. And over time, you are going to get better. You are going to get better. You are going to see improvements, right? I promise you that. And again, I can't sit here and say that I can make sure that you're going to win a show and you're going to get your pro card and you're going to go to the Olympia. I can't tell you that. But what I can tell you is that if you do these little things right every single day, you are measurably going to improve as you move along. Right? And with that, Black Friday sale opens tomorrow. So she definitely follows instructions. She sure does. And that's right. And she doesn't cut corners. She goes and she puts the work in every single day. And that's what it's about. Put the work in every single day. Every single day. It's important that you put the work in every single day, right? Okay, so like I said, Black Friday sale opens tomorrow. So if you're not on the list yet, you need to do that. The link is in my bio and Instagram. It's on my description box here on YouTube. Turn on notifications for YouTube because I will put a scheduled release for tomorrow for our next episode of Bikini Girl and Bodybuilder World. So you have that ready to go for your cardio. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Have fun time with family and friends. Be thankful for the blessings that you have in your life because we all have many of them. I know I sure do. We'll be back again next week. Like I said, I'm going to take time for my family. My parents haven't been down to my new house. They haven't been down to the DMV area in years. So I'm going to take time with them. So I have been blessed with patience. I will say that I have been blessed with patience 100%. So I'm going to take time, like I said, with my family all week into the weekend and all of that. And then we'll be back again next week and we'll start Olympia previews next week because we're getting into that time frame. So we did have ladies that did fantastic at Masters USA as well, but we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about Masters USA and stuff like that next week. I have been posting some of them up in my stories, things like that as well. So we'll get some video and pictures and stuff out as well. We just don't have pictures yet either. So we'll talk about all that stuff later. And then we got nationals too coming up, and we've got the amateur Olympia and we've got the Olympia. So there's a lot of things still coming. And of course, Cutie's conquering the stage. So there are tickets still available, full price tickets. That link is also in my bio and also in my description box. Then there's also a live feed as well. So yes, enjoy the holiday, spend time with your loved ones. Be thankful for another day above ground because that is enough to be thankful for right there. So have a blessed week, a blessed Thanksgiving, and watch your notifications for our episode that will come out tomorrow morning. And then also watch your inboxes for Black Friday sale opening up tomorrow. Okay, some beauties gracing the stage in the coming weeks. They sure are. Yes, they sure are. Yes, have a blessed Thanksgiving, everyone. Okay, with that, I'm going to log off of Instagram first, and then we'll log off of YouTube, and I will see you back here again next week live. Okay? Good night, you guys.